Hello, I'm the Nerdy Steve, and welcome to my movie review channel. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate you pressing that subscribe button. Today, I will be reviewing Heretic in one take. So, let's go. Heretic is a movie with an uncomplicated premise. Two Mormon missionaries, played by Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East, go to the home of Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant, to evangelize him. But he has an alternative and much more nefarious plan for them. What is it? I don't really know. And that's part of my problem with the movie. I felt lost. I was trying to figure out why he was doing this to these women. Why now? Why them? I have my own theories and thoughts, but ultimately felt the mental gymnastics I was doing to try and even get the most basic understanding of these circumstances to be a little too much for me. But let's back up a little bit. There's a scene in 2022's Tar, which I've linked below, where the main character talks to a room of her students about the merits of separating art from the artist, which is a topic that is very personal to me as I start to review older movies with questionable actors and directors. This singular scene is much more dynamic than anything that happens in Heretic. There's back and forth dialogue, the characters discovering and making comparisons organically, and the camera movement is compelling. Mr. Reed's philosophical and thinly veiled religious diatribe is hardly compelling. These are not points that are new or exciting to anyone who's had these types of conversations before, and I'm sure they're not new to these missionaries. And as he monologues to these women, I lose interest. The script is overwhelmingly monologue after monologue after monologue, and I think it does a disservice to the audience and characters. I would have appreciated more interjections from the woman to interrupt or really inform the audience of their own specific thoughts and opinions. This is not to say that there weren't times of entertaining dialogue, but those were rare. And I don't know if we're supposed to respect Mr. Reed's opinion or think he's saying anything revolutionary or intelligent, which is part of my problem with the movie. He says a lot and says nothing at all. If you're going to make these conversations the fulcrum of your film, I think it needed to be handled with a lot more care and consideration. What saved the movie for me is the performances of the three leads, but Hugh Grant was particularly wonderfully charismatic. He gave life to this performance that otherwise could have been easily droning and boring. And the two missionaries were great as well. There was a beautiful, nervous energy to their performances. I do wish the script differentiated them a bit more. Yes, one is much more proactive than the other, but by the end of the movie, they almost become identical archetypes. Heretic is just way too dark way too often, and by that I mean there were many scenes filmed in complete darkness. Earlier this year, I reviewed Alien Romulus and commended it for its use of color. I want to reiterate that there is no excuse for horror movies to be devoid of lighting. It does a disservice to the audience and to the actors. Yes, there are times and moments when it can be cool to be completely dark, but that should be a tool to use instead of a just go-to setting. What is frustrating about this film is that it answers a lot of questions that didn't need to be answered. You know, in a slasher movie, how the killer ends up being somewhere you don't expect, and you go, oh, wow, I wonder how they did that. And then you make up your own answer. Something like that happens here several times, but the movie shows you what is done. It's so preposterous, specifically because those weren't the questions I needed answers for. As I've said, I want to know why he's doing this. Why these two women? Was this planned for months? What was his end goal? I was just confused. Finally, there's a character in this film that is in maybe 3 scenes and could have been cut. It just took away from the main action of the film for nothing interesting, and I was very puzzled by its inclusion. The movie wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't scary. It also didn't have anything unique to say, and it didn't do anything that I found to be exceptional or worth watching for, unless you really like any of the actors involved. I think if you're looking for a movie that delves deep into religion and faith, you'll be disappointed. And if you're looking for a horror movie that will horrify you, you will be disappointed. The scariest part involved the jump scare involving a spider. I'm the Nerdy Steve, and thank you so much for watching. And as always, like and subscribe and comment below to tell me how right or wrong you think I am. Have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. Bye.